All right. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Mobile Suit Garrison. I pretty much just woke up. It's Friday. The ban list is out. I've got my man Luke here, the OG. We are
Hello.
going to take a look at it. He's already seen it, but I have not. So my reaction is going to be straight up, unfiltered, seeing it for the first time. Luke, if you wouldn't mind sending me a link so I can go to it directly
Yes,
without
yes.
seeing any of these pings or anything. I have like 6 different pings from a bunch of different places. I'm sure people are all yapping at me for one reason or another. But I just want to go to it, look at it. We're going to see what happened. I am fully expecting this to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I have absolutely no faith in Bandai whatsoever to do something that is actually good for the health of the game. My prediction is that they probably murdered Tekadon for Elmoro's crimes and thumbs up emojied. But we're gonna see. We're gonna find out.
Just sent it.
All right, here we go. We clicked on it. Let's pull it up. All right. Thank you all for your ongoing support of the Gundam card game. We, the GCD developers and management team, have been keeping a close eye on the GCG meta on a daily basis. To ensure that playing remains enjoyable. We would like to use this opportunity to introduce a new system for banning and restricting cards in the GCG. A new system? So is this like something that Bandai hasn't done before, perhaps? We're going to find out. Banned and restricted cards. Oh, I took a little peek. I took a little peek by accident. GCG rules permit up to 4 copies of cards with the same number to be included in a deck, but there are occasions, such as official or sanctioned tournaments, when cards will be designated as banned or restricted. When a card is banned, that not even one copy of the card that can be included in your deck or your sideboard, yeah, I mean, Japan already got it, but who knows? You never know. When a card is restricted, that means only a specified number of copies of that card may be included in your deck. For example, a card listed as restricted 2 may have no more than 2 copies included in your deck and sideboard. Okay, so douche. All the people who are like, Bandai doesn't do restrict 2s, they only do restrict 1s, so you're not going to get 2 or 3 copies. All right, they're going to do it. They are opening up to doing it right here, so we're going to fucking find out. Going forward, we expect to revise this banned and restricted card list once every 6 months. Okay, that's good information to have. Once every
That
6
is nice.
months. That is really nice to know. I'm actually very happy that they're committing to that.
Hopefully they actually stay on that and like make it hard every 6 months.
Yeah, most definitely.
Just like going off of other companies, I expect that to be a little eh.
Right. I mean, we'll see, but I'm glad that they're at least mentioning it.
Me too.
While continuing to keep a close eye on the game meta, local tournament schedules or similar considerations may influence the date on which these revisions are enacted. So it seems like they're going to do 6 months or sooner, you know?
Yeah.
And
That's
this is
nice.
going to go into effect on April 1st. Banned cards. No banned cards. No banned cards. Amuro is not banned. All right, restricted cards. Restricted 2. There it is, baby. Corsica base, restricted 2. And I want to make sure that I don't go too far so I don't spoil myself again. Originally designed as a base capable of deploying unit tokens as attackers while protecting the player throughout the game, Corsica base exhibits a strong influence on game outcomes. That is true. That has exceeded our expectations. Fair enough. This card is included in a majority of decks using blue. True. And these decks have a high win percentage. Also true. We are adding it to the list as restricted 2 in order to reduce its use in many faster decks, particularly blue, purple, and create more diversity in the meta. True and real and based. I mean, that's a good restrict. I understand why they didn't hit it to 1. That would kill half the card, which is fine. I do think it would have been fine to kill the secondary effect, but hitting it to 2 also already reduces the consistency enough to the point where I think that that's fine. I think that keeping 2 copies is whatever. I think, sometimes you're still going to get the 2 Leos, and that is very strong. It is a very big outlier in terms of the value that it's giving you. But I think, I think
Knowing they cannot then get more Leos off of that afterwards is a
yeah,
nice feeling.
exactly. You're only going to get the Leos once, and the consistency is going to go down. I think that that's a reasonable hit, and I think considering, considering this is the first ban list and considering this is Bandai, I think that this was a very reasonable decision. We recognize that 3 copies of Corsica Base are included in the starter deck, and players will still be able to use this deck in official and sanctioned tournaments so long as no changes are made to its contents. Okay, that's interesting. So, we have the upcoming starter deck battle. That's going to be in like April or May.
I was
And
just about.
yeah, so, if you open up your STO2, pull it out, you don't have to change it. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that would be needlessly confusing for people that are, like, oh, let me try Gundam, let me go to this starter deck event because it's a starter deck. I start with it. I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, next up. That's it! That's it!
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god!
It took a lot of willpower, not like the image of Speed smiling, and they're like, "Speed, why are you smiling, bro?"
Yeah,
that was me.
that's it. You know what? Measured response. Measured response.
Mm-hmm.
I would far rather this than, oh yeah, we fucking took a sledgehammer to the side of your head, blue purple, get fucked. I would much rather this.
I agree. I think Corsica is definitely the card that needed to be restricted. The people who are saying ban Amuro, I don't agree with.
No.
Opinions are opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I've already gone over what, the stuff that I think would be good. And you know what? Considering the upcoming reveals, considering what we've been seeing in the leaks, not leaks, but the reveals for GDO4 and stuff like that, we're getting a huge anti-ping set here in the next couple of months, I almost think
we're getting a second Lifrith. So
a second Lifrith, yeah. You know what? Considering everything that we've seen so far, and what's likely to come out of that, I personally think that my ban list at this point would have been heavy-handed. I think that would have been too much.
Yeah. We already next set we're going to see a big reduction in ping. There's just units that straight up say reduce effect damage by 3. Nothing does more than 3.
Agreed.
So, yeah, no, that's a good point. We're probably just going to see, if I had to guess, more of a blocker aggro meta again, just because it seems like they're wanting to do more blockers, and the reduction in ping damage is definitely going to make it to where you run those blockers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're getting a big anti-ping set. I agree with you that we're probably going to get some pretty heavy blockerage back. I mean, Rick Diaz has taken a pretty big hit recently from decks like Blue Purple, and then you have like improved technique and stuff like that in GDO3. So you've kind of had this cycle where, in GDO1, everything was Lifrith and Zoert. And then you got Rick Diaz, which was a really big deal because not only could Rick Diaz crack that EX base, but also, he had the 3 HP. And then now we kind of moved into GDO3 where Rick Diaz has taken those big hits from improved technique, and he's a lot easier to ping out than the 4 HP with Lifrith, and now we're getting a second Lifrith, so people are going to, run 8 of that. And, so, blocker decks are going to be kind of back in the spotlight. I will say, just on a personal level, one thing that I am a little sad that I didn't see is that Wing Zero is not shot in the fucking leg.
I agree. I was hoping to see something about that, but I don't know. Part of me already knew like that deck wasn't going to get touched.
No, you're right. But, I mean, I maintain that there's no faster way to make a game of Gundam pointless and uninteresting than to have a player see 0 2 times in the match.
No, yeah, as someone who has done that to people, it's just
it just yeah, it is boring. The competitiveness of the game just completely goes out the window. Pretty much every decision that you made up to that point to build board, to build card advantage, to build whatever, it goes completely out the window. So it is a little sad to not see that, but I also didn't think it was necessarily likely that we were going to see a hit to Wing, because that deck is their little baby. It prints money just like Seed does. Seed and Wing are going to get their knobs slobbed until the end of time. That's just kind of how it's going to work. But it is what it is. But yeah,
so
there it is. That's the ban list. Like I said, I think that this is reasonable. I think that it's a measured response to a problem. I think that I would rather they be chill about it like this than just straight up murder decks for the vibes. We'll see how much of an effect it has. Obviously, I'll be, pretty closely looking at the data and stuff like that. So we'll see what'll happen. Thanks, Luke, for hanging out. Thanks, y'all, for being here. And I got a deck profile coming up for the deck I've been using lately. I've been snatching some wins on it. And I just finished out my card list in all arts and stuff like that. So look forward to that. That was going to be the next video, but the ban list hit, so I had to talk about it.